My name is Eugenie French, and I will be your presenter for this religious education lesson. Today's topic is major teachings in Santeria, and the objectives are as follows. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to define key concepts associated with the Santeria religion, briefly outline the origin of Santeria. You should be able to outline two major teachings of this Santeria religion, and of course, you should be respectful of other people's culture and belief. Now, you should be seeing a map, and it's a map of the Caribbean. Now, many people talk about the Caribbean as a melting pot of cultures. What does that mean? You may ask, and I'm giving you time to just think about it. When we think of a melting pot, it is a metaphor for a place where many different types of people and culture exist and blend together as one. The Caribbean is one such, with its different religion, languages, and worship systems. And so I have questions for you right now. What are examples of differences that you can identify in the Caribbean? If you mentioned religious dress, you would be correct. And if you say worship practices, you would still be correct. The second question I have for you is, as you view the map, what are the different languages of the Caribbean people that comes to your mind? All right, so if you said French or Spanish or English, you would be very correct. The third question is, do you know which of the Caribbean islands speak Spanish as the mother language? Of course, Cuba and Puerto Rico would be correct. So now we come to look at Santeria itself as a religion. So now Santeria, the Caribbean religion, is also referred to as Regla de Ocha, and that means ruled by the Orisha. You notice that this religion started in Cuba by the name Regla, but some of you are students of modern languages, so you would understand. Now, Santeria is one of the Caribbean indigenous religions, and the name is derived from the root word santo, the Spanish word for saints. And this word means worship of saints. Santeria is a worship system which started in Cuba through the combination of beliefs and rituals that are associated with the Orishas of the Yoruba culture of Africa and the saints of Roman Catholicism. Let us examine the pictures. You should be seeing some pictures on your screen. And I ask you, what do you see? What are you seeing in those pictures? The objects shown are used in the Santeria ceremonies, and you would have noticed drum, necklace, candles, food, and so forth. Which other religion that you have studied utilize these objects? Hinduism would readily jump to mind. What might be the reason for the use of the particular items by the devotees of Santeria? So you are thinking of usage. And of course, they are used in the offerings that are presented to the Orishas, for example, in times of sickness, or when a member is being initiated into the faith. These items would be a part of this ceremony. Now we come to the major teachings of Santeria. The first one is that this religion believes that there are 5 levels of power, and these are hierarchical. Now, who do you think is at the top of this hierarchy? Of course, in a religion, there are belief systems, and the devotees believe in a power or a god. And so at the top of this system would be Holodomor. Secondly, the Orishas would come after human beings, human ancestors, and the lowest group would include plants, animals, inanimate objects. Now, who is this Holodomor? Holodomor is considered to be the supreme being in Santeria. He is also referred to as Oloron. And they imagine or conceive of Holodomor as the sky god. And you would understand why. You know, in other religions, God is present and God is transcendent and so on. So the supreme deity of the sky, the owner of creation or the owner of heaven, that's how Santeria view their supreme being, who is Holodomor, or otherwise called Oloron. The Yoruba people believe that Holodomor is incomprehensible to human beings, and so they believe that the powerful Holodomor is manifested through the Orisha. So you see why the Orishas came second in that hierarchy. It is to these Orishas that the Yoruba people pay homage. They give respect to these Orishas. And they also believe that each of them, as devotees, has an Orisha that guards and guides them. So let us look at the Orishas. The religion itself focuses on building relationships between human beings and the powerful but mortal spirits. What did we say these are? We said that they are called Orishas. So remember, we said that Holodomor is incomprehensible and he is far removed from the personal space of the devotees. So in order to worship, they worship Holodomor through the Orishas. These Orishas are gods. They can be male or female, and the devotees believe that Holodomor has given the power to them to attend to human concerns and the affairs of humans. They play the role of guardian angels that are in touch with their concerns, their feelings, the things that they go through. I mentioned before that the ceremonies, in those ceremonies, the devotees would offer sacrifices to the gods. So in this vein, this is what they would do. This is how they build relationship. And they would do that on a daily basis. The principal Orishas include Elegua, Ogun, Ochose, Obatala, Yamaya, Oshun, Shango, Oya, Babaluai, and Orula. Now, when we look at the third set of persons on that hierarchy, we see human beings. Wow. Do you think that human beings have power? According to Santeria, they do. At the third level, we see human beings. Devotees of Santeria are of the view that humans were made by the Orisha, Obatala. That's one that I just mentioned. He is seen as the one who creates them. and it was Holodomor who gave him the power to do such. Therefore, they are of the view that in return, humans should make offerings and sacrifices to feed the Orisha and to offer praise to them. Then we come to this level, this other order on the hierarchy, and we see human ancestors. Do they have power? Devotees of Santeria says yes. Human ancestors, which they call the Egun. The Yoruba people believe in the existence of one world that both humans and the spirit beings occupy. Wow. The spirit being are the Orisha and the ancestors together. They believe that when a person dies, the soul is transformed into one of the Egun, the ancestors, and the human ancestors. And then we come to the lowest group. I wonder if you are following. Look at what or which group is at the lowest order. The lowest group would include plants, animals, natural objects, manufactured items. In the picture previously shown, you would have seen bread and fruits and all those things that you go to the shop to buy. So in the lowest group that they are attributing to have power would be the manufactured items. And the natural entities would involve rocks and dirt and iron and honey. These all have some amount of power. Now, the second teaching that I would really like you to focus on today is communication. Is it possible for people to form a channel between the visible and the invisible? Visible and invisible world? Yes, but how, you may ask? According to Santeria devotees, the invisible world can be accessed by prayer and through rituals. So they build a relationship by praying to the Orishas, and they also maintain that relationship through the ritual offerings. Devotees of Santeria pray to the Orisha for, what are some things that you think they would be praying for or about? They pray for counsel, they pray for help and guidance in their daily affairs. Now, they are also included in the communication process of the Santeria religion ritual, and these take place through divination, which is another means of communication with the spirit world. So when you hear of divination, it is the means by which the Santeria devotees communicate with their God, and they would do this communication for various reasons. This is extremely important to them. There are three main divination systems in this faith, and I'd like to itemize them. The first one is Dilogun. The second is Ifa or Ifa. And the third is Obi. Dilogun is used to solve mystery in the lives of the devotees. So, in this ritual, they would include one of the inanimate objects that was mentioned before in the whole operation, and this inanimate object is seashells. How does that work? Yes, but the seashells are used to make predictions about whatever affairs or decision or questions that the devotees may require of the Orisha. The Ifa or the Ifa is the god or Orisha of impossible things. And he is consulted by use of divine tray. There's a tray with markings on it. And this, in all of this practice, this ritual, a determination is made as to whether or not a person should receive the power or the ashe. So the ashe is another word for power. And they are trying to determine if this person should receive the power to carry out the rituals of the Santeria duties. And the third one is the obi, the coconut. This practice using another natural item from the soil, the coconut. It is consecrated, and it is also referred to as palm nuts. When they break it and it falls to the ground, the pieces as they scatter is used to interpret or to reveal to the Orisha's response to the seeker's question. Isn't that interesting? So in today's lesson, you learned about Santeria. We discussed a brief synopsis of their origin, and you learn about two major teachings. So now it's over to you. How much do you remember of what was taught in today's lesson? And I have some questions for you, 3 questions. Why do you think that the Yoruba people of Cuba gave the Orisha saint names? So, all right, so I know you are thinking, and you would come up with this answer. So you would have understood that when the Yoruba people went to Cuba, as other parts of the colonized Caribbean, they were not allowed to openly practice their religion. So what they did was to represent the Orisha in the saints of other denominations. The second question is, what is your understanding of the spiritual world? We spoke a lot about the spiritual world. What do you understand about the spiritual world? The Santeria devotees, the members possessed, can communicate directly with an Orisha or a dead ancestor. So you learn about the communication, the spirit world, the invisible world, and the visible world as a channel of communication taking place between. The third question is, what do you think make the Orishas so powerful? And your answer would, of course, be because Holodomor gave them the power to do so. We've come to the end of today's lesson. I trust that you have learned something new and that the lesson was beneficial to you as you prepare for your CSEC examination. I wish you well, and I am saying to you, stay safe, stay in and study and do well. I know you can do it.